Top story now, that is, of course, the crisis in Gaza. The author and journalist Rachel Shabi can join us live now from London. Good to have you with us on the programme. I want to first of all deal with this figure of 75,000 reservist soldiers being called up, essentially, by Israel. They have the permit now to be able to use all these soldiers. The reality is they're never going to need that number, are they, even if they go in?
It is an enormous amount of soldiers. Just to recap, in 2008-9 assault on Gaza, around 10,000 reservists were called up. This is 7 times that number. It's hard to imagine where they will fit into the tiny Gaza Strip, if nothing else. So it is, and only a proportion of them has so far actually been called up. So it is tempting to view this as a sort of psychological threatening move on behalf of Israel and hope that it doesn't have any intention of engaging such a massive amount of soldiers.
Rachel Shabi, behind the scenes, diplomatically, what do you think might be happening? We know, of course, that President Obama has spoken to Prime Minister Netanyahu. Apparently, Obama said that he would like to see, quotes, a de-escalation of the situation. But how much pressure, in reality, do you think the US might be placing on Israel to rein back?
Well, that's exactly the trouble, that there is no pressure. And in fact, the pressure placed is inversely proportional to the amount of aggression used, meaning that the international community is very keen to engage nations like Turkey and Egypt and Qatar to pressure Hamas to de-escalate. But there is absolutely no pressure on Israel at the moment to do the same. If you look at the US Congress yesterday, it unanimously approved support for Israel to continue with this assault, and it didn't even carry the usual sort of cautionary caveats. So as far as Israel is concerned, it has a green light from the international community to go ahead.
What about Hamas, though? Does Hamas feel somewhat emboldened? We've heard how they are much stronger than they were back in 2008. We know, of course, that the Egyptian Prime Minister has visited, has shown that Egypt is standing effectively side by side with Hamas. Also, the Tunisian Foreign Minister has visited the Strip. The Arab League is due to meet in about an hour or so. There obviously will be condemnation from members of the Arab League. Do you think Hamas is feeling emboldened far more than it did, say, in 2008?
It's certainly true, as Al-Nunu, the Hamas spokesman, said earlier, that Hamas is no longer alone in the region, which has changed so significantly since the Arab uprisings, and especially in the context of Egypt and the Muslim Brotherhood, which, you know, is essentially is the mothership in a way for Hamas, and is expected to behave differently to the former Mubarak regime in the region, albeit that it is constrained by international commitments and treaties. But Hamas also has pressure in the Gaza Strip, even though it is stronger and has more sort of diplomatic support. It is also threatened by Islamist groups in the Gaza Strip that it is not able to control, Islamic Jihad and some Salafi groups, and that's the worry, that it doesn't want to be seen to lose authority or credibility for fear that those other groups may gain a stronghold in the Strip.
It's great to have you with us. That's Rachel Shabi joining us live from our studios in London. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Now, in eastern Syria, rebels